dear friend David Cook lost his brother this morning, a brother who he was very close to. This is a very good thing because Jimmy wasn't well for a long time. But Jimmy, a bright, kind, hardworking, able, generous person. And so his loss is, not only just a big pain to his family, but it's a loss for the world. He was a really good man. He did really good work. And I tell you this because in life, there is no experience that we can have that is all good or all bad. Everything is a matter of perspective. I know I said I was retiring, and yet here I am teaching. Am I retired? Well, yes. And am I teaching? Well, that's a matter of perspective. The reason this is important is because most everybody who comes here for me to work with me, or comes here because, first of all, they have a problem. Very few people ever come here completely open and totally ready to embrace and engage what I have to offer them. And for the most part, what I do is I, take away people's problems, clean up their issues, or at least to some degree, get them moving within themselves, and then they go and have whatever life it is they want to have. And, that's fine for me. Some people stay around and actually practice. In order to be able to actually heal the issues that we bring to this life and the traumas that we accumulate, the perspective that we have is very important. We have to have a positive perspective. We have to have. We have to believe healing is possible. We have to be willing to invest the energy it takes in healing. And, we have to follow through on all the things we come to understand we need to do. But positive perspective is so important, totally. It is with a positive perspective that we open up ourselves to allow for a complete, first of all, release of tension and toxicity and compensation mechanism. And then it is that openness, that positive perspective and that openness, even when we don't know. And of course, as human beings, there's so much we don't know, and so much we will never know. As an aside, I will share with you the fact that, you've heard other people say this too, there is almost nothing I can tell you about anything that I can say with total certainty. The only thing I can say with total certainty is life is about flow. Flow. getting back to my message, releasing tension, toxicity, allowing patterns to change, allows our whole internal structure, the structure of our creative energy, to transform and reorganize itself, to deliver health from the deepest and most cosmic place within us where it lives to, every mental structure and emotional structure and biological, physiological structure. In this circumstance, we come to understand that the divine, the God or goddess, the unimaginable possibility, the absolute abundance is the very essence of what we're made of. The very essence. And experiencing that essence, we are lifted to an awareness that is beyond even space and time, to a place of total unity, place of pure beauty. That's the whole point of being alive. That's why we've come into this world, to experience that place and dissolve ourselves to that. Dissolve all this massive, ignorance of uninformed opinion, to dissolve all this struggle and suffering and turmoil to that place of profound abundance, of unimaginable possibility, of pure beauty, of divinity. Until you have experienced within yourself a dark, tense, or angry, or sad, or profoundly confused, until you've, experienced a state of isolation from yourself and your life and your love and your loved ones, and used your practice to dissolve that tension and re-establish within yourself a flow that allows for a new dimension of health to emerge in you and be expressed in all the connections, the loving connections that you have in your life. You're not a real student, you're just another asshole struggling in this stupid place for nothing. And your life is a fucking waste. Over the last 3 or 4 months, what we've learned over and over and over again is that life is short, that nobody has control over anything, especially their own death. And, if our life is going to mean anything to anybody, it first has to mean enough to us that we are willing to make the effort consistently to connect to that which is really alive in us and allow it to work its magic in our world. And this is not rocket science, at least not yet. Meaning, maybe if you do it long enough, you will get refined enough in it that you will be expressing some profound science. But in the beginning, it's just really simple. If I had any surprise to share with anybody about my own life experience, I would say that I am surprised that more people that I have worked with didn't get this simple thing, you know, and understand how important it is to be positive. How important it is to make the simple effort every day to break down the tensions within ourselves and rediscover and reconnect to the beauty and the love and the abundance that permeates even the poorest person on this planet's experience. I mean, my guru's guru, Nityananda, had nothing. He had nothing. He only had a langoti, which is like underwear, only not exactly. A little piece of cloth that hung in front of his thingy. He only had that because, you know, people around him put it on him to diminish some of the complaints about his nudity. He cared not even slightly. He had nothing. He wanted nothing. He had no interest in anything in this world. And everybody who came in front of him walked away with more than they had ever experienced in their entire life to that moment. I feel honestly especially blessed that I have in my life been surrounded mostly by extremely fine and beautiful people. And I hope you guys will remember that life is really it's a matter of perspective. And remembering that it's a matter of perspective, seek the light and the loving possibility every day. The rest of it is bullshit. And splashing around in the bullshit, you will only screw yourself. Namaste.